Why your nut choice matters after 60. Picture this. You reach for a healthy nut mix, but one handful could raise inflammation, rattle your meds, or even nudge your liver into trouble. Today we're cutting through the confusion so you can snack with confidence. By the end of this 2-part guide, you'll know the 4 nuts every senior should invite into the daily lineup, and the 4 that belong in the treat jar, not the pantry shelf. Nuts aren't just crunchy calories. They're concentrated data packets for your body, dense bundles of fats, minerals, and plant compounds that can flip metabolic switches on or off. Pick the right ones and you'll reinforce bones, quiet cholesterol, and keep thinking sharp. Grab the wrong ones, and you may spike blood sugar, trigger joint pain, or clash with prescriptions. Recent wellness analyses even show that older adults who eat the right nut mix cultivate a healthier gut microbiome, which in turn supports clearer thinking and mood stability. Tap the like button if staying strong and independent is on your checklist, and let's dive into the big 4 yes nuts. 1. Almonds. The bone builder. Just 1 ounce of almonds delivers roughly 8 mg of calcium, about the same as a 1/4 cup of milk, plus magnesium, the mineral that helps shuttle calcium into your skeleton instead of your arteries. Their skin is loaded with flavonoids that tag team with vitamin E to shield cells from oxidative stress. Translation: steadier bones, smoother arteries, and skin that ages a little more gracefully. Add 9 corns of heart-healthy monounsaturated fats and 3.5 ounces of fiber, and almonds earn top billing in any senior snack plan. How to eat them: 12-15 raw or dry-roasted kernels in a ramekin, not a free pour from the bag. Pair with fruit for extra fiber. 2. Walnuts. The brain saver. Nature gave walnuts a brain-shaped shell for a reason. Inside, you get around 2.5 ounces of ALA omega-3s per ounce, fats that keep neuron membranes flexible so messages zip along without static. Polyphenols and vitamin E in walnuts can actually cross the blood-brain barrier to calm inflammation right where memory lives. Small bonus, a whisper of melatonin that can smooth out those midnight wake-ups. How to eat them: 2 whole walnuts after dinner or crushed over oatmeal. Keep them refrigerated to ward off rancid fats. 3. Pistachios. The pressure balancer. Clocking in at roughly 160 calories per ounce, pistachios pull double duty. Their 285 mg potassium helps offset sodium's squeeze on blood vessels, and clinical trials link a daily handful to meaningful drops in systolic blood pressure. Low glycemic load plus protein and fiber also steady post-meal glucose, gold for anyone watching insulin or weight. How to eat them: shell-on is best. The act of cracking slows you down. Enjoy 30-35 nuts alongside a veggie-rich lunch. 4. Brazil nuts. The thyroid and immunity booster. This one's not just a snack, it's practically medicine. Brazil nuts are packed with selenium, a trace mineral essential for activating thyroid hormones, defending neurons from oxidative damage, and supporting immune resilience. Just 1 Brazil nut contains around 96 micrograms of selenium, more than your daily requirement. Here's the catch: more and better. Eating 2 or more per day consistently can lead to selenium toxicity, causing fatigue, brittle nails, hair loss, and even nerve issues. But in the right dose, Brazil nuts are a game changer for hormonal balance, especially in older adults, particularly women, facing thyroid slowdowns post-menopause. How to eat them: 1 nut. That's it. Enjoy it after breakfast like a natural multivitamin. Now that you know the 4 yes nuts, let's turn to the 4 that need stricter boundaries. These aren't evil, but they can quietly sabotage your progress, especially if you're managing blood sugar, cardiovascular health, or taking daily medications. Limit nut number 1. Peanuts. The liver risk. Peanuts aren't actually nuts. They're legumes, and because they grow underground, they're more prone to mold contamination. The mold often carries aflatoxins, carcinogens that can damage the liver over time. Even small chronic exposure can raise your risk, particularly if your detox system is already taxed. They're also loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, which, when not balanced with omega-3s, can stoke chronic inflammation. And since processed food already floods most diets with omega-6s, peanuts add fuel to that fire. Recommendation: only eat organic roasted peanuts occasionally. Avoid if you have liver issues. Limit nut number 2. Cashews. The blood sugar trap. Cashews may look innocent, but they carry a surprisingly high carb load, about 9 grams per ounce, with only 1 gram of fiber. For seniors managing prediabetes or diabetes, this can quickly spike blood sugar. Plus, cashews contain oxalates, which can bind with calcium and contribute to kidney stone formation. If you've ever had urinary stones or have compromised kidney function, steer clear. Recommendation: if you must have them, stick to a tiny portion and pair with a high-fiber food. Limit nut number 3. Macadamia nuts. The calorie bomb. Rich and buttery, macadamias feel like a luxury. But for seniors, they're more burden than benefit. Just 10-12 nuts bring in 200 calories, mostly from saturated fat. For those with heart conditions or taking statins, this can raise LDL cholesterol and stress the gallbladder. They're also low in fiber and protein, so they don't keep you full, which means you're likely to overeat them. Recommendation: use sparingly. Great for baking, not for daily snacking. Limit nut number 4. Pine nuts. The risky gourmet. Small, oily, and often found in pesto, pine nuts carry unusual dangers. First is pine mouth syndrome, a strange bitter taste that can linger for days and suppress appetite. For seniors at risk of malnutrition, that's a problem. Worse, pine nuts can interfere with medications, including antidepressants, blood pressure meds, and statins. Their tiny size also makes them a choking or aspiration risk, especially for seniors with dry mouth or swallowing issues. Recommendation: avoid entirely if you take multiple medications or have trouble swallowing. Final thoughts. Practical tips for smarter snacking. Audit your stash every Sunday. Keep almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts stocked. Pre-portion in ramekins. Never eat from the bag. Mindless eating adds up fast. Store smart. Keep high-fat nuts like walnuts and Brazil nuts in the fridge to avoid rancidity. 1 Brazil nut a day. No more than 2 now ever. According to the American Heart Association, seniors who follow clear food guidelines, not just general healthy eating, tend to have better blood sugar, more stable cholesterol, and sharper minds. It's not about being perfect, it's about being informed and consistent. So as you open your pantry or plan your next grocery run, remember, the choice is in your bowl. Snack smart, snack small, and let your food fuel a life of strength, clarity, and independence.